Hey everyone, it's Coach Kathy back with Coach Kate, and we have been talking about revolutionary weight loss and the ways on how to lose weight and keep it off for good, which basically has nothing to do with a diet. It's all the functional medicine ways that you can approach your life to living as optimally as possible. So sleep, let's talk about sleep from the book. As you wrote it, there are a lot of people. I wrote this in the group one day that if you get a consistent 7 hours sleep, you could burn while sleeping as much as about 440 calories.
Right.
And I got a lot of people going, "What? Are you sure?" And then there were a lot of jokes, but there's truth to this. So as a fitness coach, one of the things I work with people is sleep, because sleep aids in weight loss. As a functional medicine coach, one of the things that people come to Kate with are the inability to sleep. So she works with them to help them find their way to better sleep so that we can find better health. And I work with them in regard to weight loss and making sure, are you getting to bed on time? Because 3 o'clock in the morning with a 9 o'clock training session ain't gonna cut it.
No, it's not enough.
No, it's not enough. So,
and there's a lot of science around what time you go to bed too, because there is this thing called the sun and the moon, and we should be following those rhythms. I know that's different if you live in other places like Alaska and other places, but for us here, it's super important to try to follow as best as you can, and keep what's called your circadian rhythm. So your sleep along with the night and the day. And so, and this brings up another topic, which is all the artificial light that we have in our lives.
Computers, phones, blue light.
And why that stuff will affect your sleep negatively if you have all the lights on until 3 o'clock in the morning, or you're on your screen until 3 o'clock in the morning. It literally tricks your brain into thinking that it's still day.
And your melatonin levels won't kick in.
Yeah, and it affects, it not only affects your quality of sleep, but it'll affect your hormones.
Okay.
It can be the beginning of what I call the cascade.
Okay. And if I remember correctly, that between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m., that's when your liver does its cleaning.
Yes. Yeah.
And so you
for those of you that
asleep.
are waking up at those hours in the middle of the night randomly, or that 1 or 2 a.m., that's actually an indication that you probably have some issues going on with your liver.
Okay, because it's got to do a function at that time.
Yeah.
Same thing with 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. during the day is when we're most apt to burn the most amount of calories. So when it comes to eating meals throughout the day, the suggestion is eat your biggest meal at lunchtime, because you'll be more likely to burn more of it off.
Yeah.
So our body has a rhythm and it has a job to do. And however we treat our body, it still has to do those same jobs. And whether I treat my body well or I treat it like crap, from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m., it's got to either work more easily or harder to get my body cleaned up.
Right. Yeah.
So inadequate sleep interferes with the body's ability to metabolize carbohydrates and cause high blood levels of glucose, which leads to higher insulin levels and greater body fat storage. I'm reading from the book. And, have you ever had a sleepless night and then craved carbohydrates the next day?
Yeah.
Right? So because if you're not metabolizing them and your body's not getting the adequate amount of nutrients it needs from those foods, it's going to crave more.
Yeah.
And if you get more, I often say that taking in carbohydrates are similar. It's an energy source. And, you fill up your car with gas. You eat carbohydrates. Gas are the carbohydrates. Same idea. So if you're filling up your car with gas and you hit full and you keep going, what happens? It's going to spill out over into the street. It becomes a waste. In our bodies, the same can be said, but it spills out into fat, into our body fat. It gets stored as fat. We can only hold so many carbohydrates in our body, in our bloodstream at any given time. So there's that. It drives down leptin levels, which causes the body to crave carbohydrates. Right?
It's all about the carbs.
Yeah.
And the way that this, can, again, create that cascade where we're craving things that we, really don't want to be craving.
And with a lower leptin level, we're not getting the hormonal signal that our body is full and we can stop eating.
Right.
So imagine not having the signal that says stop eating. What are you going to do? You're likely to overeat. Reduces levels of growth hormone, a protein that helps regulate the body's proportions of fat and muscle.
Yeah. And this is so important, especially as we age,
Okay.
because we're already not producing as much growth hormone as we age. So, sleeping is really important to try to mitigate some of that.
Can you tell us more about that, though, in layman's terms?
About the growth hormone?
Yeah.
Just that, it's something that's important for the metabolism, and it's also important for sleep. So you get into that, vicious cycle when you're not sleeping enough and you're not producing enough growth hormone, and then it can just make that worse and worse.
Okay.
But the growth hormone is something that our bodies produce. I know you can get synthetic forms of it these days, but I'm not a huge fan. As I'm not a huge fan of any synthetic hormone. I know it can be necessary for some people, but if we can find better ways to help our body produce the things that it's supposed to produce, then let's do that.
I agree.
And sleeping's one of the things. And I know it's not that easy, because a lot of people really have a problem falling asleep or staying asleep. So, one of the things that I talk about in the book and that I do in my practice is try to help people figure out why they're not sleeping, why they're not falling asleep easily or staying asleep. We can talk about details later. But sleep is so important. I've had clients that are doing everything else right. They're just not sleeping. And in some cases, because they're just not prioritizing it.
Okay.
Because it's way more important for them to get the laundry done and, watch the favorite
I ate
shows.
well all day. What's the big deal?
And just getting extra sleep, like the good quality sleep, can make a huge difference.
And in weight loss.
Yeah.
Okay. Excuse me for 1 second. I'm just kidding. I'm just going to burn some calories sleeping on camera.
Right.
So sleep in cooler temperatures. Cut back on the cocktails, which we've done.
Yes.
You can redirect yourself from the kitchen, which can cause these cravings, and your scenery and the likes of which you're used to doing every single day, the way you were used to doing it, by changing your scenery and going to do something different.
Yeah. The redirecting, distracting technique.
Cutting back on cocktails. It was working.
Yeah.
Eat small dinners, lower in carbohydrates. So if carbohydrates, this is Kate, and then this is me taking it into the fitness world. Carbohydrates are energy, and it can be said that we don't need to take in a lot at night because they feed your brain and nervous system. And that's great in the morning because you want to wake up your brain and your nervous system, but as you're preparing for sleep, you don't need the same levels of energy to prepare. So that's why we might want to drink or eat less carbohydrates in the evening. I think it was Jillian Michaels that said, make dinner the king, lunch the queen, your snack the jack, and dinner the pauper, so that you reduce the size of your meals as you go through the day. And then, as you discussed earlier, removing electronics from your life and here from your bedroom so that you're not getting the blue light from these devices.
And that really talks about only not using the electronics, not watching the blue light. I think I said not having it in your room because then it's so easy to look at it, like if it's if there's a TV. But the other thing that's really important today, with all this new upgraded technology, I'll call it, is if you have a smart TV in your room and if you have a cell phone in your room, which most of us do, it's our alarm or whatever, it's constantly searching for a signal. So your smart TV, even if it's turned off, your phone, even if it's turned off, is constantly searching for a signal. And those waves are frequencies, the electromagnetic waves and frequencies, those are traveling through your room and around your body and around your head. And they will create issues. Yeah. So, for those of you who are really trying to do everything, turn them off and unplug them. Or if you have them in a power strip, turn the power strip off. I know that sounds extreme, but if you really want to try to do everything you can to reduce any interference. Okay, I want to show you something on camera while we're here to prove your point exactly. So if you could face me a little bit, let's see if we're just going to get this. I want you to see this. All right, so put your arm out in front. Like this? Yeah, but over here. And I want you to resist against the pressure of my hand. Okay. Push. Okay, so I do it twice because now that
you can anticipate what I'm about to do. I want you to do it again. Resist the pressure. So I'm pushing down, giving it strength. She's got strength. Now I want you to take your smartphone in your other hand and put it up to your chest.
Boy.
Now put your arm out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. How about that?
That's crazy.
That's your electromagnetic field.
These things kind
that
of
just got affected. And if
Yeah.
you don't believe me, do that one yourself.
it.
But that was live on camera. I didn't warn her about that one.
No.
And you can see the effect of your phone putting it on your body. And how many of you carry it in your pocket, in your front pocket, your back pocket? Those electromagnetic frequencies are affecting your electromagnetic field.
If you're using your phone for an alarm, do not put it next to your head, on your pillow, or next to your
Under
head.
your pillow even.
Like anywhere near your body. If you want to use it, put it across the room.
So you have to get up anyway.
So you have to get up right and turn
especially
it off.
if you're in high school.
But anyway, so that was a little bit of a sidebar,
Yeah.
but super
That's a good
important.
idea.
It's not just the blue light anymore.
Right.
It's the whole
all of it.
Yeah. The
So
whole thing.
we want the best for you. That's why we keep coming on here. We have 2 more to go. Exercise and mindset in this series. You can find me as a business page on Coach Kathy the Fit Spirit, and you can find Kate at
Integrative Wellness Advisors, either .com for the website or Integrative Wellness Advisors on Facebook.
Okay, and then we will, once again, you have an opportunity to read this book for free, and it's filled with information. I mean, look at my tabs, and if you could see all my underlines, you'd know there's a lot going on. Even in a smaller chapter like sleep, it's still abundantly wealthy in information, or full of information. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. So, good night. Sleep well.
Yes.
Don't skip the sleep. It's all part of your journey to better health. And we want that for you. All right, everybody. Have a great day. See you in the next video.
Thanks.